Yeah, just a really good comeback win for us today against probably one of the top pitchers in the league. I know his record doesn't maybe show it, at least in conference play, but stuff's really good. He kept us off balance pretty good for a few innings there and got out of a jam or two, but that's what good pitchers do. That's why they get to start. But credit to our team, hung in there. We kind of had a plan and they stuck to it. Finally got some big hits, and then obviously, that's what we were trying to do with our pitching. We were hoping we could get it done with three pitchers, and it worked.
Hey, I think I've heard either you or Matt Hobbs talk about when is the right time to bring in a closer, and it's when a game you feel like is on the line. Can you just kind of take us through the decision to bring Kevin in as early as you did, and what did you think of his performance today?
Yeah, we were hoping to get him at least to maybe the sixth inning. I think we had to bring him in the fifth with two outs, but we just felt like that hitter left on, right on left wasn't a good matchup. So we got Kevin, and he's a closer, but he's also just a finisher. I mean, he could start if we needed him to. He's a little different than a lot of guys. We kind of knew that he had some pitches left out, in him. We didn't have to throw him yesterday. That we could probably get 60 or 70 out of him today, and he had pretty good stuff. They guessed early on him and got a couple of hits, and he left a couple of pitches up, and they got on him. But for the most part, he did a tremendous job. So I don't know what else to say about him. He just is a competitor. He wanted the ball. Many 4 1/3, 50 some pitches. Just did a really nice job.
A lot of times this year he's looked better in his first outing than his second on the weekend, but it felt like he looked better today than he did the other night. Did you see anything different in that regard this week?
I would say you're probably right. He might have been a little bit sharper today than the first outing, although he was pretty good for certain hitters on Friday. But we use his fastball a little bit more today because they're sitting on the slow stuff and just trying to see everything up. And he snuck a few fastballs by him, 90, 92 miles an hour, maybe a little more. I don't know. But I think that really helped that he was able to just throw that fastball when he needed to for a strike. Bob?
Yeah, Dave, Battles is maybe known more for his glove than his bat. I know he's a good hitter, but what'd you think of his day, and what'd you see from him on that 2-run single and the home run?
Well, the 2-run single was big because he went the other way. They're playing that shift. That shift has worked for him pretty good for the first couple of games. It really worked for him yesterday. We hit a couple of balls through the middle. They're standing right there, and give him credit on that. But the shift hurt him on that one. It cost him 2 runs. It cost him 1 run anyway. We'd have scored a run, but that was a big swing for us. And then his home run, another big swing. And you think about his first at bat, he hit the ball a long way into left center, just missed it on a low pitch. And so he had a really good day at the plate, and obviously played solid defense, but he's got some power. And I know the wind helped that ball a little bit, but he put a pretty good swing on it. Hit it a little bit towards the end of the bat, but obviously he carried 400 plus.
And then good hard home run. What'd you see there?
I saw a ball hit a long way, and he took a couple of borderline pitches, and it was a 2-0 count, and he got rewarded. He got that fastball he was hunting, and he didn't miss it. And it didn't matter which way the wind was blowing, unless it was blowing in really, really hard, because that ball was crushed. I'd say it was hit at least 450.
And you guys, I think you're 5-0 now in these rubber games on SEC weekends when it's 1-1 going into game 3. And yet there's another come from behind win when you're trailing by 3+ runs. What would you say on those 2 counts?
Yeah, I mean, on the coming back, we've done it a lot. And we could feel it in the dugout that we were starting to get better swings, on Webb there, and that we felt like we were going to get him. And even though we only scored 2 in the 5th, we felt like that it was just a matter of time. And Battles hit the homer in the 6th. But, we felt like when we tied it, we were going to win the game. I think we felt like when we were down 1 run, we were going to win the game, honestly. And then, just winning the game 3, tied 1-1 going into game 3. I mean, you just you just play as hard as you can. It's the last day of the series, and we've come up big. You know, whether it's through defense or pitching or hitting, it's just been a really good job by the team.
Okay, I got some more. I'll turn it back. Thanks.
Butch?
Dave, what is it about Cops that enables him to be able to throw 50 pitches on a Friday and then come back 2 days later and throw another 50 plus?
Well, the fact that he's in incredible shape, number one. Probably just his arm slot, arm action. It's pretty classic. It's not a lot of strain on his elbow or shoulder. You know, like we've mentioned many a time, I mean, he's a workout aholic, basically. I mean, he gets after it. And, you know, it'd be nice if we only had to throw him 30 today, but the way it worked out, once he got hot and loose, it's probably all the same. And I think it's just in his mindset. He wants to. He's not worried about it.
And y'all hadn't hit a home run the last 3 games, I think it is. And with a lineup like yours, was it just kind of one of those feelings where it was just a matter of time that y'all would get one?
I think so. And, you know, we just missed a couple others today. And you know, we don't want to have to just hit home runs to win the games, you know, to win all the games. It's obvious it's nice to score quick with a home run, and we needed those today. But, you know, we need to score with singles and doubles and walks and make the other team make mistakes. We laid down a really nice bunt today and had everything set up. We just didn't drive in the run. But, you know, just, you know, the home run's big. It's big in college baseball now and in the major league. You got to hit home runs and score against these pitchers who are so good. Randy?
Dave, you shook up the batting order today. What was the thinking behind that?
Just trying to get the top of the order where we didn't have left, you know, against that left-hander, just break it up with the right-hander there. And so I just pushed Wallace up. Took from Moore, Franklin, and Wallace, just pushed them all up one, and just thought Matt, maybe he'd get him something where he could drive in a couple runs there. You know, maybe in that spot. He did drive in a run. He drove in himself, but he had a good day. He was seeing the ball really well. And, but that was the thinking on it, that I knew that they were going to ride Webb as long as they could, just because of the 2 lefties they threw yesterday. They probably weren't coming back. And that's kind of what the deal was.
And did you feel the energy change in your team once Cops came in the game? They look like a different team after Kevin came in the game.
I think after Kevin got that first out there to get us through the 5th and then into the 6th, you know, or into the bottom of the 5th, and we were still just down 3 because it could have gone to 5 real quick. Yeah, there was probably a little bit different feeling, like, you know, we probably got a couple innings here where they're not going to score. We got to catch up. And, you know, we promptly scored a couple runs that inning and came close to scoring the 3rd or 4th. But yeah, I'd say so a little bit. 8.
Yeah, Dave, as far as Arkansas State coming up, and do you go ahead and start Wiggins in that one, give him a shot then?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you 100%, but I think we're leaning that way. And, you know, I haven't talked to Coach Hobbs about it. Probably talk to him tonight and first thing in the morning, but we're leaning that way. And obviously just get him out there and let him start the game, see how it goes. And, but yeah, I'm going to say I'm about 90% sure that's what we're going to do.
You know anything about them as far as Arkansas State as a team?
I watched them play last week. I've looked at their numbers. I mean, they're scoring runs. I saw them score 8 runs in 1 inning against Ole Miss last Tuesday. I saw them hit 6 doubles and 4 homers against Ole Miss last Tuesday. Ole Miss got them. It was a high scoring game. I don't know if they scored 10, 12, 14 runs, but they looked physical to me, and they've got some older kids, and they've got a left-handed hitter that's hitting he's hitting everything. I think he's hitting 380, 400 right around there. So, you know, it's going to be it'll be a battle on Tuesday. It's tough, especially this time of the year, you know, in between conference games, but you know, it's the first time we've ever played them. I've never played them, and I don't think the universities have ever played each other in baseball. So it'll be, you know, be a kind of interesting event.
Thanks.
Andrew?
Hey, Coach, Opitz, Franklin, and Cops are all guys who are captains for you. Do you think it carries a little more weight when you see guys like that come through with a big performance in a game like this?
Um, I don't know. I don't know if I can say that. I think that, their job is obviously as the captain is just to make sure everything's going smoothly and guys are working hard and take care of some issues in the locker room or dugout if take us a little bit off the coach's plate and then to lead by example, by working hard and those guys do that. And then obviously when they're having, good games offensively or on the mound, I think it helps a little bit. But, the role of a captain is just to lead, whether it's verbally or through your actions. And I think they all do a good job of that.
Add that to you.
Hey, is there anything to the end of finals week being a little bit tougher of a series for your teams? And then it seems like when finals have been over, your teams get on the road and maybe they start playing a little bit better. I wonder how you think that dynamic works.
Well, it's been interesting. We haven't played a midweek game for almost 3 weeks. And you just almost feel like you're knocking the rust off a little bit as far as game competition when you're going a week without playing. And whether you lose on Tuesday or not, at least you're out there playing, going through pregame, doing everything you do. I mean, baseball is such a game of repetition and, going through this, doing the same thing over and over that you kind of get into a little bit of a groove. And then you throw finals in there and graduation and parents and relatives and people needing tickets. I mean, there's some distractions there. But I think our guys handle it pretty well. I think, from here on in, instead of practicing in the afternoon at 2 or 3 o'clock, we'll probably be practicing at 10 or 11, maybe earlier, and let these guys get away, go fishing, hang out, do whatever, and I think they'll enjoy that. They usually enjoy this time.
And to piggyback on something Bob asked a minute ago, going back to even like the 17-18, your teams have been really good in these rubber match type games. Do you feel like there's I don't know, maybe a confidence that builds with teams who have been a part of that team, that it becomes maybe just part of your team's identity?
Well, you have to be confident and you have to think you're going to win, and you can't come out to the park thinking, like today, if we would have had the mindset as, oh, we're not sure who we're throwing and they're throwing their number one pitcher, we can't beat them and we might as well not even show up. I mean, we started talking about that last night. We're talking about it this morning, and that they didn't know what they were in for. That's kind of the message that we were sending to the players from the coaches. We're trying to let them know that we feel like we're going to win. We don't care who they're pitching. And our guys, I think they liked it, and I think they bought into it a little bit, but, they still had to go back it up. And, there's a definite mindset in our locker.
Bob, anything else?
Yeah, couple ASU things. Dave, I guess Tommy Refko, or their coach Raffo, he's a Mississippi State guy. Do you know him very well?
Yeah, I know him. I don't know him real well. I mean, we've talked over the years, and I know he was with Coach Polk down there at Mississippi State and done a good job at Arkansas State. And, but when I called him a couple of years ago and told him, looks like we get to start playing, I mean, he was all in, and I appreciate that.
And that Ole Miss game was 15-12 last week. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But they beat OU earlier. They beat Ole Miss. They beat them once out of 3, I think. And we know, midweek games can get crazy because neither team's throwing their top guys. But this is going to be, I know you've gotten used to playing these in-state teams, but this first time against Arkansas State, kind of historical, I would think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, it's a midweek game. On the other hand, it's the first time Arkansas ever played Arkansas State. So that makes it a pretty big deal. I'm sure it's a real big deal to them, I would think. Just how do you guys approach that?
Well, I think we're going to approach it like this is going to be a tough game. I mean, I already talked about it to the team after the game. Arkansas State's coming in Tuesday, and, we better be ready to go. These guys will get after us if not. And it's going to be a good ball game. And you see a lot of pitchers out there for us and them, hopefully, but you never know. You never know how it's going to go. I mean, we're not going to do anything on the mound that's going to hurt us heading into Knoxville. So we've got to have some guys step it up that didn't pitch this weekend.
Well, ideally, what would you like to get out of Wiggins? 2-3 innings, assuming he starts? Or
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be up to him and pitch count and how he's doing. We all know he's got great stuff. So, I mean, it's Tuesday. Are we going to use him on Friday? I don't know. So I would say not. So we'll just let him go. And if it looks good, we'll let him roll a little bit. and then figure out how we're going to handle him the rest of the weekend, next Saturday and Sunday in Knoxville. But yeah, I mean, we won't let it get crazy, obviously.
Are you glad to be playing a midweek game when you hadn't done it for a while?
Yeah, really, really glad to play a midweek game. Especially that now that the guys don't have to worry about, taking classes.
Thanks.
Hutch, final question, please.
Yeah, I just have one. You said y'all felt like you were getting better swings off of Webb. He was cruising along through 4, low pitch count. What was the key to that? How were y'all able to finally get to him?
You could just kind of tell that, his fastball, it wasn't riding quite as much. It looked like we were on it a little bit, and the breaking ball to me wasn't biting quite as much. And even in the inning, when we scored 2, we had 2 outs and 2 on, and Slavens was up. He made the last out of the inning. He hung a breaking ball, and he just missed it. I mean, it's a pitch I bet he's going to hit a long way 2 out of 4 times. And we thought, well, if he starts missing like that, we can get to him. And we finally got him out of there.
All right, thanks for your time, Coach.
Okay, see you
Yeah,
guys.
Kevin.